And now at 4, Fox 5 has been on top of reporting on the shortage and need for foster families across the Valley and Nevada.
Clark County even held an emergency recruitment earlier this year to try and get some more foster parents to help fill the urgent need. And Fox 5 has actually learned there's a dire need not only for families to foster young babies and children, but also teenagers. And
Fox 5's Danny Maston has been following this story. She joins us now in studio with the details of the effort to get more teens into homes.
Kim and Mike, I'm told at any given time, 30 to 40 teens are living at Child Haven. Today, I spoke with a private nonprofit and a foster parent to teenagers who share how they are working to address this need and how you can help.
We started with one and we fell in love with it.
Becoming a foster parent to one turned into 6 for Jeffrey Stovall.
You know, a couple of our older kids had moved out and we had extra bedrooms and we said, let's give it a shot.
Stovall and his wife have 9 kids at home, 3 biological and 6 foster kids.
It's great watching the kids and getting the help they need to blossom into great individuals.
Through a private nonprofit called Safi's, Stovall went through training to become a foster parent.
Whether that's through foster care and reunification, foster care then adoption, working with therapists, working with support staff.
Safi is contracted with the county, aiming to place kids with more needs in the right homes.
They have a mental health diagnosis, or the county has identified them as needing additional support services.
Executive Director for Safi, Anya Earl, says they are in need of more parents like Stovall to open their home to teens.
They're a scary population to some families, right? Because teenagers come with lots of difficult behaviors.
A lot of them have never been in steady houses and, you know, having good parental supervision and things like that. And so they're able to grow.
Stovall says through Safi, he learned how to navigate through the challenges of fostering teens.
Play therapy. We made our loft into a large gaming area so we can play video games and I can have one-on-one time while they don't have to look at me, but we can talk.
Safi foster parents go through an additional 48-hour training to learn how to care for those who require a higher level of care. To learn more about becoming a Safi foster parent, we do have a link on our website at fox5vegas.com. Back to you.